Right, you just gingered me up. We have a big topic to talk about today. Okay, a big topic. It's a topic that's been I don't know if it's a topic that's trolling the internet for the past 3 years or so, or if it's the internet that's been trolling the people that are part of this topic. I'm not sure which one is which one, okay? But the news today, the breaking news today is that Jada is somewhere on the internet talking about she's been separated from Will Smith for the past 7 years, since 2016. Since 2016. What was your first thought when you saw that today? I'm curious to know, what was your first thought when you saw that today? What was your first thought when you saw that today? We knew it. I think actually Yvette left a comment earlier. Let me see if I can pull that up. You knew it, or it's just like too sad? Like, oh, you wish it wasn't that case. What exactly was your thought, right? By the way, there's nothing to celebrate about this. Okay, there's nothing to celebrate here. Shout out to D. D, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So the money is plenty. Matching my good sis. I appreciate you. Right? What was your thoughts? Like, Yvette said she renewed it. She said, when I saw it, I said, not new info, right? It's not exactly new. I think it's new that they didn't get back together. A lot of people knew that they were separated, but not necessarily that they're still separated, right? Because I read Will Smith's book. He didn't make mention of that, okay? And I'm glad he did not, okay? There's a lot of the weak men in this internet streets would have loved that he made mention of that in his book, so that he can prove to them that you don't allow a woman to direct her. First of all, that's an assumption that that woman has been directing the course of his life. And if he did, to an extent, aka slapping another man on the stage of Oscars, well, that's the mother of his kids. Why is that such a strange thing to the grown men of 2000 and... right? It's weird, but we're going to talk about that today. We're going to get into that today. We're going to dive in a little bit deeper but this is the announcement. Let me see here. This was the announcement. Let's just start with that, and then we'll get to some of the let's see. This is the announcement. We're going to get a little bit deeper into it, but let's see. Boom. Here you go. Let's play this.
We are back 8:40. We're going to be talking about this.
Yeah, God, we met up. He opened up. There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, "Is this true?"
Right.
Hey, Mo Fresh. Good to see you.
You and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
right?
But it.
You see how she's smiling? Right? Hey, this are some of the problems, okay? Now, keep in mind, she's selling books. I am selling books too, tons of them, okay? You can download them for free, by the way. You can download this one for free, right now. Loveprestige.com. Books. She's selling books. Oh my God. Somebody said, hola, all this yeah. I put them into books, all right? Because the ones that actually need it will get to it in the book, right? But you know, the internet is just trolling for the most part, okay? That's what makes it the internet. That's what makes it social media. That's precisely what we love about it. It's the same thing that we resent about it. But she's smiling. She's selling books. Get that at the back of your mind, first of all, before you celebrate somebody else's marriage destruction. They're selling books, right? At the end of the day. Right now, we can talk about everything else too, because there are deeper issues to this, but it's not as simple as celebrating that you were right on the surface. No, it's not that simple, right? Shout out to you. You were right. I've always told you. How many times have I told people here that they're right? You know, as many times as I tell them, I even recruited Auntie B to start telling people that they're right. They still don't feel like they're right.
Well, you're right.
You're right. Right? I can't take your rights away. Your rights are your rights, right? I know you're right because you're not in jail, okay? No crime, nothing. Like, you have the freedom to believe what you believe, right? But you have to understand that there's also the freedom of the universe to grant you consequences. Well, she's smiling. I can't shame her for smiling, right? But that smiling is demonstrating, is trying to demonstrate like, and that's okay. And that's okay. And the internet is like, no, that's not okay. Especially the men. They're like, that's not okay. Like, that's not okay. No, she said that's okay. You're the one that will tell her she's wrong, Gabi.
Was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
I feel. Anyway, let's leave that alone. I have some other story, but that's the breaking news. We will do some deeper analysis. I have some other stuff I want to cover today. I have two other topics. Or three other topics. One, first of all, how many people were on? How many of you are Obodo fam and you were hanging out with us just a few minutes ago with Auntie B? How many? Let me know in the chat. One, say one in the chat if you were hanging out with us and Auntie B just a few minutes ago. How many of you? Let's see. Not surprised. Long time rumor is that they are in an open relationship. Yep, swingers, all kind of stuff. That's rumors out there, right? But people, I think the people that are pushing the hardest against this or celebrating it, make it seem like they were just right. They hate the idea that somebody can actually live some kind of alternative lifestyle, and it irks them. It makes them want to like punch somebody in the face. So what they say is like, well, these women are destroying everybody. Well, this woman, first of all, it's two people involved. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we get there. Yeah, that's smiling. These rumors have been swirling around the streets, separate, open marriage. There is no smoke without fire. How many times do we have to say that here, right? I remember when the Daily Mail first reported this years ago. Every time they want to sell something, they review what we already know. Justice for August. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. All right. We're back. Welcome back. So the Will Smith story, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Chinye says, I'm talking about they need to leave Will Smith alone. No, they have to drag him. You know, let me play a video for you. Let me play a small video for you real quickly. It's a video I put on TikTok earlier, but let me play it. I can catch my breath real quickly and then we'll continue. All right, so Jada, Will Smith's wife, just came out to announce that they've been separated since 2016. As you can see, she continues to throw the family under the bus. I guess she's trying to sell a book, one or two, I guess, But nonetheless, just watch the internet, especially the Simps, celebrate this over the next 48 to 72 hours. And then they wonder, okay, they're going to celebrate this over the next 48 to 72 hours. Not extract a single lessons out of it, right? But the only thing they want to do is celebrate this. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. That's all they want to do right now over the next 72 hours, right? But really what they're trying to do. They're everywhere already, by the way. They just want to cry about everything that's going on with them personally. But, shout out to Will Smith for not throwing his family under the bus. It's a lot for a man to take. But we're going to talk about this at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is the 11th of October. So that's all they want. This, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. That's all they want to do right now. I told you so. Anyway, let's get back to the real story. I think we can't blame social media ever. I always say that. I have to hold myself accountable to that. Social media is exactly what that is. It's mostly trolls. They have the right to do it. Yes, rights. So if you don't protect what's yours, like Will Smith failed to do, right? That's not necessarily his fault. He failed to do it. Maybe he can't control that woman. I want to speak my truth. That's what the Red Table Talk is about, right? But there's so much more that I keep saying that we don't know about that relationship, right? And that has been proven once again, right? Because now they've been separated for 6 years, but we didn't know that as a fact, right? Typically, you can know that as a fact because paparazzis are following and all this kind of stuff, but they kind of knew, but they didn't know for a fact, right? So that's where they are right now, all right? He slapped a whole man Yeah, because he was trying to protect his wife. They're still officially wife and husbands. I don't know if you're aware of that. They're still in each other's world. They have kids together, right? They are not together romantically. That's what she's saying. All right. So now the issue here is much deeper than what it looks like on the surface, and no one is even taking the time to look at it. They're just looking for ways they can project their own traumas on an issue that's already an issue, which is not, they're not saying that's their issue. They're selling a book right now, okay, and they're going to sell tons. They're going to sell hundreds of thousands of those books, right? But the people that have problem in this are the people who are projecting, who are hoping that one day they will get the news they got today, which is, oh, another marriage has fallen apart. Is that really what you want to celebrate? Listen, I can't judge you. If you're an internet troll, you do what you do, right? You celebrate bad news, not directly. I would never admit to celebrating bad news, but you know, that's what you click on the fastest. It is what it is. That's why I said we can't judge you for clicking on negative thing the fastest. I'm just saying, after we do that, can we get into some lessons? Can we learn something from it, right? Can we learn one or two things from it, right? Anyway, so that's what this story is about. I said that like a couple of months ago. This is about the lessons. I'm repeating it again. What can you as an individual learn from this, right? What can you learn from this? That's the question. Can you separate in a way that nobody can get in between you, right? Should you put your issues out on the red table, right? Where the issues were deeper than the red table. Can we learn for once that the issues were deeper than the red table? This woman slept with one of the friends of her son. Shout out to August. I haven't felt this way for so long. When you find yourself with a woman who happens to be the mother of your kids like that, and you can't really control her because that's the reality, you can't control other human beings, what would you do? You write a book and start throwing out under the bus? Is that what you're saying? Right? Is it possible you bottle things in so much you might end up slapping the bitch on an Oscar stage who doesn't know how to stay in his lane? Right? Could you possibly do that? Because people were on that TV show earlier, people were trying to see if I'm trying to act perfect. Like, listen, we're human beings. Sometimes you overreact. That's what it is. I overreact from time to time. I'm just aware that it's still the wrong move. That's all. I'm just aware. That's all. And that helps me a lot. When I encounter crisis, it helps me to process things. I see Roro says, well, he slapped a whole man. Right? Slapped a whole man, right? Slapped the whole man. Let's see. Let me play something for you. Let me show you something really quickly. Let's see. Okay, found it. All right, so look at this on Shade Room. This was on Shade Room. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah. It says Jada Pinkett. I'm going to read it to you. Jada Pinkett Smith reveals Chris Rock once asked her on a date amid rumors that she was getting a divorce from Will Smith. You want to know how imperfect Ola is? Ask my wife out on a date. Because you sense that we might be going through a separation. Ask my wife out on a date. And you want to see Ola lose his cool. Maybe that's what you want, right? But I'm still holding I'm not going to lose the rest of my life. I might lose a few deals here and there because I'm protecting my family, which is what happened to Will Smith. I'm not going to lose my life though. I did say at that time it was the wrong move for him to go and slap a man on the stage. But I'm also telling you, you can't manipulate, you don't get to tell people how to react. You can only say one reaction is better than the other, right? But especially after it's the past tense, he slapped him. He slapped him now. And he got his lick back. He made a whole boatload of money on Netflix by doing the whole show about it. Okay? Even. Right? But there you have it. Men don't generally have serious issues with disrespect. How many times do I have to tell you? What you think as disrespect is not what men think as disrespect. It's not just a man thinking a woman disrespect. It's much more to it, right? If you start to feel like it's not in control, everything goes wrong. Now, that is his responsibility to figure it out, but I'm just letting you know that when a man starts to feel like he's not in control of his life, which oftentimes include his home, his household, his wife, his children, he will start to misdo. He might find himself in a position where his wife, on paper, says, I want to do a red table talk, and it's like, why do you want to do that? All right, I'll support you. It might be the wrong decision. Who doesn't make wrong decisions? But to me, if they've been separated, as in separated, not doing anything romantically since 2016, which he made clear. They made that clear from day one. They just didn't say they're still separated, right? Who am I as a man to say, this is how you do? He has children with this woman. Anyway, let me read the whole thing, right? Let me read the whole thing. So I'm not taking... It says explaining more. Okay, let me just go ahead and read people. No, I'll read this and I'll go to the actual people article. Explaining more to people, she says, I think every summer all the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a divorce. And this particular summer, Chris, he thought that we were getting a divorce. So he called me and basically he was like, I'd love to take you out. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? I was like, no, Chris. Those are just rumors. He was appalled and he profusely apologized, and that was that. You know they are respectful. They might not know how to control their mouth, but you know they're respectful. You know that at least about them, right? So let me see here. So that's that with Chris Rock. Now you might say, but she's lying, but that means she probably lied to Will Smith too. Okay, what are you saying? I'm telling you that a man will react a certain type of way. All that is bottling up. It's like he's smiling like kiki in your face. You know that you try to toast his wife. You just do one little mistake. It might be the trigger, the camel that broke the camel's back, and you might just get a slap punch in your face. Am I encouraging it? No, but I'm letting you know that's clearly what happened. At least we know that she's telling this story, right? So even if it's not, we don't really believe her, she's a Jezebel. Okay, good for you. Okay, but she's gonna sell these books though, and she's gonna sell these books to you all. Let me see here. Chinye said, now I understand why they started to use the word partnership for their marriage and not a marriage. It's still a marriage though. It's a marriage on paper. It's a bad marriage for life. Someone was making for it's truly a bad marriage for life. Yeah. Sometimes you just, you just see things for what they are. That's literally what red pill is. But you have serious issues seeing life for what they are, and these are a bunch of men, right? And she's still in love with Tupac. Yep. Tupac hasn't been here in 25, 26 years. If she's in love at all, she might be in love with the memories that she had with that man. Somebody just heard that. I saw you justifying it. Tupac is not here. It's Will Smith that's still here. Right? And Will Smith actually took some time to talk about that in his book. Right? You can't shame the shameless. You can't use something that somebody has admitted to shame them, right? It's like he was jealous of the kind of relationship they had. You don't see that as normal? Yeah, if your wife start having some kind of best friend, so of course again, jealousy, is that necessarily a negative thing? It can be negative. It's a double-edged sword. It can also be just what it is, right? Just see it as what it is, right? There's all types of alternative relationships going on. Get with the game. Let Chinye finish it for me. Finish it for me.
Let be poor. Breathe.
You thought it was just Sodom and Gomorrah. It was just thousands of years ago. There's all kinds of alternative relationships out there. It's not cheating if they agree to it. It's not cheating. Right? They're going to sell these books though. I guarantee they're gonna sell these books. And they started well, because imagine all the viral videos, including this one going right now, right? But let's go to the let's dig in a little bit deeper into the deeper things that nobody wants to talk about, right? You're right. Jada is a Jezebel. You're right, okay? Because I can't take your right to be right away.
You're right.
You're right. Will Smith is a weak man. Okay, strong man. Okay, but let's. I'm gonna go into people, right? Let's see. All right, it's Jada. I wouldn't want Jada to be the wife of my enemy, but again, I feel like that's a disrespectful thing to say. She had 2 kids for this man. That's his world. It's not the sex that makes a woman your world. It's not. Am I encouraging people to start doing things like no, it's not encouraging. I'm just showing you what it is. What you're looking at in front of you. They said that part of their life is being over when they were opening the books. Let me see if I can find that. When they were opening the books. Let's see. I think Will had it somewhere. Opening books, Jada. Right? They actually had a clip. They released a clip. I found it. Let me show you. This is just a few weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Let's see. All right, let's watch this together, right?
All right, you guys. This is.
Wait, when was this published? 9 days ago. Okay, just look at Will Smith behind her.
The first time I'm gonna see the book. We're all together. I have not seen the book yet. We just got the first time.
I don't know if that music is allowed, but you see that?
Wow, this is really beautiful. The introduction to each new section is really standing out.
Yeah. This is how I'm being born. I just flipped straight to this page.
Really?
Will and I are in bed in a rented villa in Cobble San Lucas. It's late summer, 1997.
He said he opened right into describing how he was being born. Right? He said he opened right into it. Right? So that was just a few weeks ago, right? Okay, now let's get back to this. Let me show you something. There's nothing to justify here. This is just their lives, right? A lot of people are divorced. Let me paint this picture for you. Many people have very messy divorces, and there's a bunch of men in our society painting that as, I'd rather that than a situation where people can actually do something in an amicable way and be respectful and keep their home in order. The ones that matter, not red table. Red table is not their home. That's just something they put on for you to make money from you, right? In terms of the actual inside, right? A lot of men would rather, I don't care if it's messy. That could never be me. First of all, that's probably already you. Maybe that's why you're relating this way. But let me read what People magazine put up here. So, people say Jada Pinkett breaks silence on marriage, Oscar slap, and her path to self-acceptance exclusive. Here we go. Jada Pinkett whispers to herself. Let me see here. I thought this is a skit. Okay. She thought the slap was a skit. I think that's what Roro was talking about earlier. Like many people watching the incident unfold on live TV, right? I was like, there's no way that Will hit him. Jada 52 recalls, it wasn't until Will started to walk back to his chair that I ever realized it wasn't a skit. The first words she uttered to Will once they were alone after the show were, "Are you okay?" That's what she should say. Okay? The answer is a work in progress, one that Jada has written about, among many other topics, including, okay. But Jada, as she details in her book, had quite a life. Before March 27, 2022, people's lives is a better way to put it. I was living a lot of them at one time. Listen to that carefully. Lives is a better way to put it. I was living a lot of them at one time. Does that not sound like a troubled person to you? Right? Okay, maybe not a troubled person. A person that has a troubled childhood, maybe. Ever thought about that? Right? Those kind of people cannot stay in a marriage. If they stayed in marriage for 22, 23 years, whatever that they did successfully, that's a stretch. Okay? That's a stretch. And guess what? You're going to have a lot of people out in this street who are like that. They're all happy. Everything is happy. They go into a marriage. They stay in it 15 years in. They're like, damn, lost myself. You know what most of them do? They'll go to the court thinking it's supposed to be a fair fight. And then they find out, like, wait, why is he trying to take all my responses, my properties away? And then it becomes a messy fight. And then we prefer that because it looks like to us on the surface that, like, it's not the ideal. Like, we're disappointed. Like, we thought Will and Jada is supposed to be perfect Hollywood and happily ever after. We're disappointed. It didn't end up that way. What do I keep telling you about that Hollywood, Nollywood, the end part that you're looking for? That's unrealistic for the most part. Sometimes what you have right now in front of you is what you're presented. That's the cards you're dealt. What do you do with it? That's the test for all of us. What do you do with the cards you're dealt? Are you busy comparing yourself to other people and saying it's not good enough, so I must force you to be in a marriage with me, right? I guarantee you Will is having the time of his life, having the quote-unquote freedom and having to control himself so that he doesn't, because you can also destroy yourself with a bunch of women coming into your life. Strangers that are not marked on paper, they have nothing to lose, right? But you know, the fantasy is like, oh, it must be really bad for him, right? Her problems are deeper than all this surface stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. She says, of course, along the way, she met a hot young actor. Well, you're going out with me now. That's how he toasted her, right? I'm just jumping through. She said, when I turned 40, I was in so much pain, I couldn't figure a way out besides death. So I made a plan. For a big part of her life, even before Will, she had thoughts of the ultimate, committing the ultimate. I'm just going to say that. Start with the S word. Okay? That person's problem is not your fantasy about the red carpet talk and how he should have not been with this person or Tupac. No, the issues are deeper than Tupac. Okay? The issues are deeper than Tupac. But while I was really living the dream, I hit a huge wall. Okay? Jada is aware of how her life looked from the outside, especially about a decade ago. The glamour and the smiles, the mansion, gowns, and movie premieres. They have it all of it all. But while I was really living the dream, I hit a huge wall, a massive amount of depression. Somebody just heard that I'm justifying this again. I'm hearing your spirit. No. I'm asking you, when you get hit with life crisis, are you prepared? Do you know how to respond? Especially when the whole world is judging you. Because they will judge you. Remember, you can't control social media, right? They're trolls. They get to do what they do best, right? They have all types of opinions. Majority of them are not going to favor you. You want to get stuck in the comment and reading them, which in real life, if you're a regular person, not a celebrity, you want to pay attention to everything that says, everybody that says something negative about you, you will miss out on life, basically. He said a massive amount of depression. I think that I looked at having outside sources to supplement for the voids that I was feeling inside. She said the voices were incoming. Just by yourself. You're not worthy anything. You ain't shit. Right? Jada began to plot her the ultimate. I started looking for places, cliffs, where I could have an accident, because I didn't want my kids to think that their mother had committed the ultimate. Jada says a chance conversation in her own kitchen provided a glimmer of hope. Friends of her son, Jaden. It's all these friends of this son. Somebody should punch that little boy in the face. But anyway, it's not his fault, right? Friends of her son, Jaden, mentioned that their dad had gone through an ayahuasca, I've never heard of it before, ayahuasca ceremony, where a leader supplies a plant-based psychedelic drug. I actually have a colleague friend who actually took some of these things and lost his mind for months. I'm not sure if he's back yet, but that's a colleague friend of mine in our digital marketing world. Usually brewed into a tea to drink and guides the subject through hallucinations. You don't know what people are going through. Stop using surface logic to judge stuff. You just tell yourself, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The older you get, the wiser you get, the more you realize you don't know. People will turn to wherever they need to turn to just to have a little peace of mind. Ayahuasca helped me. It gave me a new intimate relationship with myself that I had never had before. Jada says since the first time she took the drug, the S-word thoughts completely went away. Okay. Let me play this. Let's see. Let me see if I can play this for you guys to see. All right, there you go. Let's share this. This is on people.com, by the way.
Different stages. As time went on, there were different stages in my marriage where Will and I decided we were not together. Where we didn't, we didn't tell the public, right? Where I was actually thinking about divorcing, separating. I mean, there have been several of those, right? And so, and where we've gone and lived our separate lives. So I think within that is where people might have thought that, oh, they must be having an open relationship. And
she said people might have thought. So maybe in 3 years' time, she will admit that it was actually open relationship. We were doing all kind of swinging. I don't know. See, I don't know, right? I just don't know, right? But what she just said is indicating like, no, we're separating. I was going through. Again, those are the least of the sex are probably the least of their issues, right?
we just didn't want people to know the dynamic of what was happening between us. We didn't think that that was anybody else's business.
Apparently, she forgot about that when she did the Red Table Talk, because August did not need to come into this conversation, you know, but August in the conversation, and the manosphere cannot get enough of that. Terrible, because they'll rather project. It is okay. Social media is not your mate. Don't try to control them. Let them do what they do. Just find your own peace of mind. I think the Red Table Talk was a wrong move. I still do think it's a wrong move. I think the slap was a wrong move.
And so I think that that's where sometimes that confusion came in.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. Let me continue here. So Jada says her husband and children as adults, they made sure they made that clear, because somebody's going to take that and run with it. Their husband and children as adults have also taken ayahuasca. She knows that her family life, and in particular her marriage, and the topic of fascination are a topic of fascination for many people. She remembers how they first got together. All right, so that's that part. It's still talking about getting together here. Let me see. As for her kids, my children, they are little gurus. They taught me a deep sense of self-acceptance. They love every part of me, she says of Jaden, 25, Willow, 22, and Trey, 30, who is a stepson. You notice she doesn't bring that up to the surface all the time. The level of love, unconditional love that they have for me and their dad, and it's one thing to want to be the person that gives that unconditional love, and then there is to be the recipient of that. That part is clearly obvious. I think people are resenting, And you could tell in some of the reactions, go watch some of the other videos, you could tell in some of the reactions, people just resent that it's not the perfect Hollywood, Nollywood picture of a marriage, happily ever after, which means we're still married and still having sex and we live in the same house. And people just don't like that. And most of them are men that resent this. Okay? Most of them are men. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Roro says she also says she thought it was a skit. Okay, yes, entanglement. Wahala. It's all a mess, Sha. It's a mess. The public part of it is a mess. Would you be willing to agree that, at least for a while, it's probably the only part of it that's messy is the public? Would you be willing to admit that? Because if that family is messy, they won't be releasing this book right now. Together, celebrating, opening the books together. You think they're pretending? Someone's like, no, the celebrities are always pretending. Yeah, they could just sell you books without recording that video. You know that, right? They're still Will and Jada. Okay. Yeah, it's all for the moolah. Yeah, I don't think it's all for the moolah too. I think that's just an icing on the cake. You know, I don't think they need to sell books. You know, I don't think they need to sell books. Again, all this stuff that makes us feel better because they're no longer the perfect Hollywood. It's not necessarily reality. That's the default. They get to sell books. Okay, there's millions because you will eat it up anyway, right? And I mean you as a general public, right? Right. So I don't think it's just for the mullah. I think they probably find some kind of peace in releasing these books, and you know, if they are separated, and the only part, there are two things I don't like personally. The red table talk discussing August, I know that made Will look a certain type of way, but I also know that must have been a very difficult decision for him to make as a man. And in life, you will be presented, especially as a man, you'll be presented with very difficult decisions to make, right? They're not going to be black and white all the time. It's very lame for you to think that all your decisions will be black and white presented to you like that, right? The second thing I don't like, right, is, which again I understand, knowing what I know right now, is the slap. Don't put yourself, just like I said on Auntie B show earlier, don't put yourself in a position where you can destroy everything because somebody decided to act mad. I know it's difficult. That's precisely why I'm saying it, right? She's just disrespecting too much, but that's just my opinion. Yes, I can respect your opinion. Will has never made such statements like, I feel like this woman disrespect me, and no one is willing to say that out loud. Like literally, tell me when you find a video where somebody said, Will has never said this woman disrespected me. There's one video they're pushing around. Let me see if I can find that video where Will was saying, you know, don't put the camera in my face. That video was taken out of context. Okay? There's no way that they meant what they were saying in that video and they released that video. She released that video as a banter. But that's just my opinion too, you know what I mean? Right? That's just my opinion. Let me see here if I can find it. Yeah, that video is going viral all over today again. This is it. Let's see, this video right here. This is the only video anybody can look at. Hold on 1 second. This is the only video anybody can look at and say, oh, she was being disrespectful to him. Let me see. You guys can see now, right? Okay, let me go back a little bit.
Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please.
She said, oh my goodness, come help us again. He said, I would say, if, like, suddenly people completely forgot about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. People forgot, right? You know, somebody said, well, no, he was being serious. Yeah, there are seriousness in comedy too, right? But I think we took this video more personally than they did. I don't think it was that deep, is the point. I don't think it was that deep. I think what's more deep is that they were together in a space when everybody keep fantasizing that they are enemies. Projection.
Please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Don't. No.
Wait, why would she say foolishness? Taking it more personally than they are. That's it.
Come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Don't. No. Because she don't just.
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media.
She's all doing the deep stuff, the woke stuff, which is okay. That's the third thing I don't like about them. All that woke stuff needs to be tucked in somewhere. It's nonsense, okay? There is selective honesty in life. That's called social intelligence. There's some things you don't share with the world are evil. They will destroy it's ammunitions to destroy you. No, just be honest. They were lying to us. They're supposed to tell you the full truth because you're in their life, right? Right? Selective honesty is the reality, and I think he might have been out of his control. And if something's out of your control, you don't worry about it. You worry about all the things you can control. That's the rule. Sometimes the things that are out of your control are the closest people to you. And these are the blind spots, oftentimes.
Presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start I'm standing in my house.
So let's even say he felt the way he felt. Maybe he was standing up for himself. Why wasn't that good enough? Right? Since a man is standing up for himself now, why wasn't that good enough? Right? Oh, let's just focus on the woman. She's just disrespectful. Right? My point is that this is the closest thing that anybody can count on. Will saying she was disrespectful, right? But I think we feel the disrespect for him, and I can acknowledge that, okay? I can definitely acknowledge that. Let me see here. All right, so last thing that I wanted to play was this old video on NBC. Then we'll call it a day. So is this Don Lemon? Don Lemon is now at NBC. Is that what's going on here? He was fired, right?
Are back 8:14 with Carson and Hoda's exclusive interview with Jada Pinkett Smith, and everyone's going to be talking about this.
Yeah, she is one half of Hollywood's most powerful couple. She's at the center of constant gossip and controversy, including that slap at the Oscars. She was sitting right next to Will Smith. And when we met up with Jada in her hometown of Baltimore to talk about her candid memoir, Worthy, she opened up about an issue that has been kept secret.
Is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was...
Oh, this moment is so traumatic to people. I'm just going to stop right there. Because I feel your heart. I know you don't want to hear this. Like, why did you do this to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? This Jezebel of a lady, right? Chinye, you're absolutely correct. She had childhood traumas, and it's messy. I think the mess that everybody is looking at on the surface is deeply rooted, and I think it's beautiful that they can figure out some kind of way to move forward, have a relationship. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing ultimately. The only people that don't think that's a good thing are people that are still fantasizing about a perfect world. It will never happen. Not in this experience. It will get used to it. There's no perfect world. It will never happen. Ever. There's nothing that's black and white. Everything is somewhere in between. People have alternative lifestyles. They figure out something that gives them peace of mind. It is what it is, right? Maybe when you start accepting that, you will have better experience in life, so that we can all stop projecting, right? Sometimes we project in reverse. You think celebrity life has to be yours. Like I always say, they have the same core issues, but at some point you have to respect that their issues are magnified. No one is perfect. No one. Okay? But that's not what we're talking about. Let's just call wrong.
You're right.
I wonder if J. Cole still wants that Jada, J. Cole, okay, and Will Love. J. Cole looks up to them. Is that what you're saying? I think he probably does. If you ever looked up to Jada and you were doing it in a healthy way, you would still look up to them. It has nothing to do with nothing. I don't think it's relevant personally, But if you were looking up to them because you thought they were perfect, no one can help you. They can't even help you. Even Will and Jada can't help you, Obviously not. right? So you're given a well-rounded view to think a bit deeper about this topic. I'm trying to change it. I remember Will said he did that too. The psychedelic thing, I think Will is into those kind of stuff. They're all into it. And I'm not comfortable with those things. But I also know that there's so much I don't know. Right? So when you say psychedelic hallucination, I'm like, my reality is like, but I also know that I don't know what I don't know. The problem with a lot of the general public is that they think they know. And their results does not reflect that. Right? August had a whole song on this. Hey, wahala. That's what you get for being so popular. Famous, right? What's the title of the book? I think it's called Worthy. Worthy. You know, when somebody titled their book Worthy, they're basically saying they've always felt like they're not worthy. Right? Right? So they no longer have the pressure to be perfect. They probably did have that pressure, which a lot of people have, which is why they are reacting how they're reacting. I keep telling everyone, there's no such thing. Relax. I tell the men all the time, you deserve soft life too. Why are you doing this to yourself? Right? Yeah, the woke thing is, but anybody can be read as woke. They might look at me, even the way I analyze here, they say I'm woke. But me, I know that when I see anything that looks like woke to me, I'm like, calm down, it's not that deep. It's not that deep, right? All right. What's up? Okay. In essence of you want to say hello? Come on, say hello. Come on, say hello. It's too big, so I don't know. Bend down. It's taller than me now, too, by the way. It's like, you're like half an inch taller than me now? Or a full inch?
Yeah, inch.
A full inch?
Yeah.
Okay, say hello, Prestige family.
Hello, Prestige family.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
That's my mini-me, but it's no longer mini-me like that, so. The essence of the Red Table Talk was because I was seeing talking about it and they wanted to be ahead. Yeah, controlling narrative, right? Never work. Just let him be ahead. No be August last one. Let him be ahead now. And Will Smith probably knew better, but it's not the easiest decision to make sometimes. I think they were trying to be ahead of that story. Well, maybe it was just for 2016, Abi. No. That marriage has collected woto. That's why they're still together. There's no perfect marriage anywhere. Hey, Roro. A whole incho. Yeah, I think I'm 5'9" and yeah, 5'10", and he's 5'11" now. So, all right, sis. All right. Great. Let's end it like that. What am I saying about it's been over long before August, since 2016, right? They can't cry wolf. They put themselves out here. It is what it is. So anybody wants to drag them, be my guest. But I think the way you drag them is a reflection of who you are. That's all I'm saying. That's really all I am saying. Okay? Oh, Roro, take care. Thanks for coming through. We're rounding up right now. All right? That's all I'm saying. Right? The way you react to issues, I can't finish these shows unless I tell you that. It's you. It's just who you are. Okay? If you thought they're supposed to be this perfect thing, I didn't say they're supposed to be perfect, but it's just terrible. Like, I know what you mean. Okay? All right? I know you. First of all, I know you will never admit that you were fantasizing about a perfect marriage. Second of all, I know what you mean. Okay, but I think Will and Jada are still going to be celebrated, right? He slapped a person on the stage. They still gave him the Oscar. Let the poor breathe. Let the poor breathe.
Let be poor. Breathe.
Yeah. But I think the issues are deeper for them than what they are aware. I believe they are aware of what the public is perceiving, but I think they figured something out, right? And if they ever come to a place where they wanted to make it, maybe somebody falls in love with somebody and they don't want to hold anybody hostage, they might write it on paper and say we're finally divorced. They already live separately, by the way, but I'm not sure how that makes any difference. They travel all the time, all this kind of stuff. Will is always traveling everywhere. If you read his book, you know that, right? But there's a way he treated his ex-wife. the mother of Trey, right? So I'm not surprised that he's moving gracefully. I'm not surprised. And shout out to him for that. And shout out to Chris Rock, for shooting a shot. I'm not mad at him for that. But there's consequences for all our moves in life, even when we don't mean any harm. It is what it is. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate you all. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. All right. And share this video. If you appreciate what I'm doing, the conversation we're doing here, please make sure you're sharing, okay? And don't forget, on your way out, you can also go download the books at loveandprestige.com. Go sign up over there. Be on the waiting list for the book coming. Look out for December. We're having a big old campaign. It's going to be big. I need your help with that, okay? To help us with the promotion ahead of the book, okay? So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.